Intrusive thoughts are something that we profoundly struggle with after infidelity, but did you know that they're actually your brain's way of protecting you and keeping you safe? The most common complaint I hear by far from people who've been betrayed is that they are really, really struggling with intrusive thoughts. And they report that these thoughts are painful, miserable, and many people feel really tortured and kind of haunted by them. So if you're dealing with this, I am so, so sorry. I remember how painful this is. And I want to teach you some ways to make it better. Yeah? So, the first thing for you to know is that the intrusive thoughts are not your enemy. I know it feels like it, but they really aren't. Those thoughts are a big, gigantic arrow pointing to a sore spot that needs some healing. We want to work with our intrusive thoughts carefully and, heal from them, recover from them. How to do this, though, is a little tricky and nuanced. So, the first thing is do not indulge them all the time. You will get triggered or have an intrusive thought come up, and your first instinct will probably be to dive into that thought and really marinate in it, really think about it, and really explore it right then and there. That's not always the right thing to do. We really want to schedule time to worry and work with our intrusive thoughts. And the rest of the time, we want to try to cope with them and keep them managed. Because if we're always thinking about our intrusive thoughts, then we're constantly in this panic state, right? And we know that our brains don't do very well when we're in a constant panic state or constantly in fight or flight. So we want to tell our brains that we're going to think about this later. And for right now, we're going to keep doing something else. It doesn't quite work to just say that, though. We have to do a little bit more. So you want to notice when you're having an intrusive thought. And not to worry, you will for sure notice this, right? And make a note about it on your phone or on a piece of paper somewhere. Write it down, because writing it down signals to the brain that you've got this recorded. The brain doesn't need to keep going over it and over it again. And then thank and comfort your brain for bringing this to your attention. So say to your brain, and it'll seem a little funny, right? But I really want you to picture this little wild monkey in your brain that's giving you all of these intrusive thoughts. Talk back to that monkey and just say, hey, thank you. I appreciate you showing me this. I know that you have good intentions. You're showing me this because this is a sore spot. This is something I need to heal. I get it. It makes sense. It's completely understandable that you're bringing it up. See, we're talking nicely to the monkey. Then you want to say, but I can't do this right now. I don't want to do this right now. I'm choosing not to do this right now. We're going to get to it later. We have this all written down, so you don't need to keep chirping at me or whatever sound monkeys make. I'm pretty sure it's not chirping, but it's something like a chirp. You don't need to keep chirping at me. We're going to come back to this and talk about it later. Then follow that with some deep breathing or doing some walking. Do something soothing with your body. You know that trauma and pain is stored both in the mind and the body. So if you can follow, talking back to the monkey, with a little bit of physical activity, that should help regulate you and help you calm down. So for more on this, more on managing triggers and intrusive thoughts, please check out Chapter 5, Section 4 of my book, The Courage to Stay. And also go check out Part 2, because I'm going to keep talking about this. We're going to do a little series of 4 videos. So go to Part 2.